Welcome to the Chatham-Kent Cougars coverage here on TV Coach Co. Varsity Cougars getting ready to kick off against the Hamilton Hurricanes. And Hamilton gets the football to begin this game as it's brought past the 30, almost up to the 35-yard line. And that's the starting point for the visiting Hurricanes on this nice Saturday evening against the Cougars.
We understand Hamilton is a little bit short-handed for this evening's game. 5 or 6 players have been selected to participate in the Team Ontario tryouts.
A deep program, though, out of Hamilton for the Hurricanes. See how this game shakes out here. Now on the ground, the football comes loose, and it's going to be Chatham-Kent Cougar football, as the quarterback handed it off to the running back and almost instantly bobbling the handoff. And the Cougars there to pounce on it. So a good break there for Chatham-Kent, and they get excellent field position.
Looks like it was Tanner Emery, the recipient of that fumble, able to jump on that football and give the Cougars the ball after just one play on offense for the Hurricanes.
Just 24 seconds into this one.
Jalen Butcher is back to play quarterback. The last home game we had, he was away at a baseball tournament in the United States.
And a very low snap, and they boot it, and did they give it right back again? Yes, they did. Unbelievable. So some sloppy football here very early on in the opening 45 seconds.
Not a pretty start to this football game.
Wow. Some ugly football, ugly snaps here, and 2 turnovers. We haven't even played 1 minute. Here with the Varsity Cougars against the Hurricanes. Chatham-Kent versus Hamilton, and the football rests at the 38-yard line of Hamilton. Nobody wants to play with the football so far. Leaving it on the ground, a hole for the running back, cutting off to the left-hand side up to the 45-yard line. And number 32, that's Brandon Betancourt, as the carry for Hamilton. Second down and about 3 coming up here.
Nice hole over the left side of that offensive line for Betancourt. Good hard running, and 2 or 3 Cougars in on the stop eventually. Jesse Stewart, number 20, one of those on that Cougars D in for the tackle.
Second and 3. Once again, they leave it on the ground and a hole along the right-hand side.
Another fumble.
They lose it again.
And it's Cougars football.
We've had now 3 fumbles in about a minute-and-a-half span here. And each one of them has a change in possession. I don't think the football is going to stray far from that 45-yard line all night.
And it's funny, the earlier game that we called the Bantam game, that game, if I recall, Hamilton had put the ball on the carpet 4, maybe 5 times, had troubles holding the football.
It's like the football is coated in butter tonight. It might very well be.
It is Rib Fest. Maybe there's some barbecue sauce on there.
Could very well be. Another running play for the Cougars right up the middle. Ball comes loose, and Hamilton says they have it, but it looks like ball comes loose after the running back was down, but still very minimal gain for the Cougars as they found no room to move up the middle.
Yeah, it looked like that was Jacob Broad with the carry, number 21, lined up as the deep back right now behind Jalen Butcher in the shotgun formation.
Second and 10, Butcher up the middle, and it's intercepted at the 40-yard line. And that one picked off by Zach Sibley, number 29 for the Hurricanes.
Pass intended for Ben Bartlett. It looked like it might have been just a little bit behind him.
Butcher threw it into fire, and it was picked off.
Our 4th turnover in this about same 10, 15-yard span here. As you mentioned, maybe we won't stray far from the 40, 45-yard line.
This could be an incredibly long evening. We'll see.
Everybody's going to be winded from running on and off the football field after 2 plays.
I wouldn't doubt it. Up the middle once again and looking to get up to the 45-yard line. Helmet comes off of the running back. And I believe once again that was Brandon Betancourt who got the carry. Half the distance for a first down, 2nd and 5. Out of the shotgun formation. Pass is complete at midfield. Flag comes down. Quarterback Zachary Benno finds his target along that far side. We'll see what the call is.
It was in the area where that pass was caught. I wonder if there was a push off from the receiver that looked to be some pretty good separation. Or maybe it was against the defensive back, maybe defensive holding.
It's against the Cougars. And first down here for Hamilton. On 1st and 10, they keep it on the ground and some room to move along that far side. Still on the ground. Big run by number 34. That was Nicholas Boonstra, who found a seam along that far side of the line and got a lot of mileage out of it. Good run from Boonstra. First down again for Hamilton.
Looks like Boonstra's got a little speed to his game there. Just off that right edge of the offensive line and bounced it outside. Looks like he's got some decent shiftiness and turned that into a nice big gain.
1st and 10, again, they keep it on the ground. It's been working for the most part here early on in this drive. And some positive yardage here, number 24. That's Eric Blake, who had the first carry of the game. A 6-yard pickup up to the 30-yard line.
Well, I don't want to jinx us, but it has been a few plays now since we've had a turnover. Looks like Hamilton's offense starting to find its rhythm.
Get the kinks out very early in the game. Maybe we'll be turnover free from here. We'll see. Quarterback rolling off to his right, looking down the field, maybe deciding to keep it. No, before he hits the line of scrimmage, he lets it go, and it's a touchdown in the end zone. Found his man at the very last moment, sneaking towards the end zone, and a laser from the quarterback Benno, and that's a touchdown for Hamilton, up 6-0 early.
That was a good-looking throw there from the quarterback on the move to his right. Just when it looked like he might tuck the ball and run, showed some real athleticism there, stayed really patient, kept his eyes down the field looking for a receiver, and found one just before it looked like he was going to step out of bounds, and right on the money. Really pretty pass and catch for the TD for Hamilton to put them on the board.
So there's an impressive drive there for the Hamilton Hurricanes, the varsity division. And they hit the score sheet first in a 7-0 lead after the almost comedy of turnovers right around the 35-40-yard line in the Hamilton end of the field. Both teams turning things over very quickly a couple of times in the span of a couple minutes. But that time, the Hamilton Hurricanes make it count, and they march down the field for a major score and a touchdown pass from Zachary Benno. 7-0 they lead. And a short kick. It goes way up in the air and out of bounds after only maybe 6 yards.
Yeah, it did not go the required 10 yards, so that's going to be Cougar football right there at the, 49 yard. Oh, excuse me, that is still Hamilton's side of the football field, so that's the 51-yard line. Well, they're going to say it's the about 52 then, I guess. So fantastic field position for the Cougars.
Football went straight up in the air from the kickoff. Didn't travel far at all. Jalen Butcher, the offense for the Cougars, back at it. Now trying to play catch-up down 7-0. Butcher looking to pass up the middle and really into danger. In and out of the hands of the defender, Ardell McDermott, who was mighty close to picking that one off. So again, throwing it into danger. And almost the second pick from Jalen Butcher.
Well, he had some pressure in his face there. I wouldn't be surprised Jalen Butcher felt the pressure and unloaded that one just as it looked like he was about to be hit and might have forced that errant throw.
Butcher back to pass, looking off to his right, going downfield and just out of the reach of the intended receiver, Max Fantouz, who was streaking down the near side. And that would have been a pretty pass play if they were able to connect with that one, but Fantouz just couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah, nice route there from Fantouz. He runs a little out and up, and both the defensive back and the safety bid on the out, and then he just turned it up the field, but Jalen Butcher just a little bit long with that throw, or else had Max Fantouz for a big gainer, maybe even a major.
Punting on 3rd and 10. This is a long boot here. Very, very good kick inside the 10. And the Cougars defense doing a fantastic job. This is going to be way back into Hamilton territory.
Great job with that special teams tackle, Thomas Van Ray. Just getting the shoestrings of the return man, and now a chance for defense to pin their ears back with Hamilton deep in their own end.
So a chance here for the defense to keep things on the far side of the Hamilton side of the field here, deep into their territory, and maybe get the football back in some excellent field position. Now that they didn't have really good field position in that last drive, just weren't able to make things work. 7-0 Hamilton with the lead. Just over 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Hamilton keeping it on the ground very deep in their own territory. And it takes about 3 Cougars to bring down the running back.
Number 30 looks like with that carry that time for Hamilton. Osei Iginuen will give it a shot.
That's as good as any, I'd say.
Good carry there from Iginuen, though. Carrying a couple of tacklers with him there for about an extra 2 or 3 yards at the end of that run.
7-yard pickup, 2nd and 3. They leave it on the ground once again, turning the corner along the inside, and a good job by the Cougars to stop the running back there, Eric Blake, with his 2nd carry of the night. That said, he's still got the 3 yards. And Blake picks up the first down to move the chains, but just barely getting the 3 yards needed.
You notice Tanner Emery jogging off the field because his helmet came off during the course of that tackle. And I believe it's 3 plays you have to miss after your helmet comes off.
1st and 10 for Hamilton, still deep in their own territory, the 14, and they leave it on the ground once again. Iganuan with the carry, and minimal there.
Looked like it was big number 90, Chris Timms for the Cougars with the initial hit.
Only gaining just over a yard on the ground that time, so second and a short 9 coming up here. Or a long 8. Back to pass, and almost intercepted, as a matter of fact. Intended for 17, Stefan Olivieri. And I believe Nathan McIntyre was right there defensively for the Cougars, almost there to maybe pick that one off.
Yeah, McIntyre stride for stride with the receiver there. As you mentioned, that throw was high, and McIntyre almost able to react to that one.
So good job that time for the Cougars defense, giving up 1 first down, but now 3rd and 9 from the 15-yard line. So you figure they're going to get some pretty good field position when they get the football back here. Kick is high in the air, comes down out of bounds, crosses out of bounds at around the 35-yard line or thereabouts.
Some great field position coming up here for the Cougars. That ball clearly goes off the side of the foot of the kicker. They're going to start at about the 35, it looks like, of Hamilton.
Best starting field position of the evening so far for the Cougars, so you want to take advantage here. Down by 7, 7-0, 5:27 to play. First quarter. Looking for a short pass, and he finds his receiver, grabbed by number 23, Mark Killett. But quickly wrapped up after the catch. Defense by Hamilton.
Yeah, the Cougars trying to set up the screen pass there, and just nothing doing. The Hamilton defense very quick to react that time. And as you mentioned, no gain whatsoever.
Second and 10, Butcher again with the shotgun formation, dropping back to pass, trying to find his man along the far sideline and in and out of the hands of Marcus Shad. Fella he was trying to connect with along the far side and comes incomplete. So 2 and out, 3rd down and 10 coming up here for the Cougars. So again, you start off at the opposing 35-yard line, couldn't move the football at all.
Yeah, certainly got to be a disappointing feeling for the offense with such good field position. Not sure if Jalen Butcher's arm was hit on that play or not. It looked like that ball just kind of came out a little bit funny and just a little bit high, but they will try the field goal attempt here.
Kick is a line drive. It is wide, and the Hamilton team will run it out of the end zone. As far as the 25 and almost up to the 30-yard line. So the kick no good, and then Hamilton with a good run back to almost the 30-yard line. That's where they'll begin here, up 7-zip.
Stephen McNichol with the return there for Hamilton did a pretty good job evading the first couple of potential tacklers. And pretty good little hand swat that you could hear all the way up here in the booth before being tackled.
Dropping back to pass, going along the left side, and it is almost intercepted, as a matter of fact, or
they're going to say that's
they are going to say it's
football.
intercepted.
Wow, that's surprising. because the looked like the
Nathan McIntyre coming down with the football.
Quincy Reed and Nathan McIntyre wrestling for it. And Nathan McIntyre and Reed were wrestling for it. Looked like Reed came away with it when they were on the ground, but the official saying that McIntyre had possession.
So the Cougars take over the 43-yard line, their own 43, and a quick pass intended for Cody Miller. I don't think Miller quite expected it quite that quickly, and it falls behind him. And the incomplete from Butcher makes it 2nd and 10.
Looked like that time Hamilton coming with a blitz right up the middle, too.
Butcher again dropping back to pass, looking down the field. And this one is going to be picked off rather easily by Hamilton around the 40-yard line. And lots of room to move. Look at the agility, and finally hammered down the field, midfield. But Mitchell Garland was wide open there, and he has a fairly easy INT, and Garland picks it off and runs it past midfield. So another turnover here for the Cougars.
Well, we've got back-to-back interceptions there, and 2:50 to go here in the first quarter. We've already had 6 turnovers, 3 aside. It's quite a bit. I mean, that's enough for an entire game. That one, that just looked like miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver, because the receiver had stopped his route short. That ball was well overthrown.
Leaving it on the ground. Finding a seam along that far side. Running back still on his feet. Flag comes flying out. I think Ardell McDermott with the run, and a nifty one at that. We'll see what the flag says here. This might be coming back, and I think it is.
Yeah, it looks like they're marching this one back here, Mike. You're right. Maybe a holding, I guess.
Ball comes all the way back to the, looks like 48-yard line of Hamilton. 1st and 20. Quarterback rolling to his left, surveying down the field. He's going to have to get rid of this quickly, and he does. Good hit by 44 Tanner Emery on the quarterback, Zachary Benno. Forcing Benno to get rid of it very quick, and he just threw it out of bounds.
Benno is extremely patient with that football. Lots of pressure there, and not a lot of room to maneuver over against that sideline, but Benno really holding onto the football till the last possible second before he gets rid of it. As a receiver, you got to love that your quarterback's trying to give you a chance to make a play and is willing to take a hit to do it. Looks like we got a timeout on the field. Looks like we might have a water break here. Yeah, they certainly haven't signaled a timeout for either team. Just hearing up here in the booth that there was some blood, so anytime there's blood, you have to get that cleaned up and leave the field.
2nd and 20 here for Hamilton after the football gets backed up from that offensive holding call a few minutes ago, going down the field, trying to catch up to it, and the receiver does, going into the end zone for a long touchdown. Quincy Reed using that speed to catch up to that football, and a great toss by quarterback Benno. And Reed hauls it in and kept using that speed to get past the defense into the end zone for the touchdown. And more points for Hamilton, up 13-0.
Nathan McIntyre not happy with himself after that one. The receiver, Reed, just kind of trotted up and baited McIntyre into thinking it was just going to be a short pass, and then just turned on the jets and went for the deep touchdown score. And then at the end of it, you could see the frustration of McIntyre with the late hit after the receiver had already crossed the goal line. So that's going to be assessed on the kickoff.
So good offense here from Hamilton early on. And a 14-0 lead, only 90 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Tough start for the Cougars offensively, and turnovers have to play a big part in that.
Yeah, it really hasn't been the cleanest first quarter.
Not at all.
But despite that, Hamilton has still managed to score 14 points. And the Cougars offense still looking to get its stride here.
From midfield, booted a long way down. McIntyre in the end zone, runs it out. And went with a bunch of black and orange jerseys. Still fighting, though. Good fight there from McIntyre. And the Cougars still will be quite deep in their own zone, down by 14. 1:24 left in the first quarter. And the offense comes on the field.
Yeah, real deep kick, obviously a strong leg there from Hamilton. Also, not to forget the penalty that was assessed on the touchdown from Reed for unnecessary roughness on McIntyre.
Cougars backed up to their own 11-yard line on 1st and 10. They go to the air once again. A short pass. It is caught. And some yards after the catch there, so good job by the Cougars. Short pass and some yards after the catch. That one was hauled in by Max Fantus.
Yeah, the big tight end, number 85. Nice catch in traffic there. And then eludes a tackler right in the middle of the field and gets enough for the first down.
An 11-yard pickup. This time they keep it on the ground, but the Hamilton defense right there to swarm in and take the running back down for a couple of yards loss. Not much there that Mark Kellett could have done.
No, you're right there, Mike. Not much at all. Great penetration there from that Hamilton defense. Just swallowed up, really, just after he gets the football.
So 2nd and 13. Quarterback in a whole world of trouble here. Spins out of trouble the first time around. Keeps the football himself. Now a little short dump pass. It is complete to Marcus Shad. Some good athleticism there from Butcher to even get that away.
Some real creativity there with the shovel pass at the end, too.
That will complete the first quarter.
It'll still be short of the first down. Look like a gain of only about 5 yards at the most, and going to bring up a third down situation.
Talk about not giving up on a play. Good job there by the offense of the Cougars. And Jalen Butcher to still get that football away and make at least some positive yardage out of that.
Well, certainly, yeah. It looked like he was dead to rights, about 10 yards deep in his own backfield. But somehow found a way to pull a Houdini and get out of there and get that shovel pass off to get some positive yards. Despite that, though, the Cougars still going to be short here. They're going to end up in a 3rd and 6 situation and, well, based on their field position, likely punting here. Yeah, now it looks to be about 5 yards, 3rd and 5.
Trevor Niven digs the football out of the ground off the snap, still gets a very good kick away, bouncing at the 50. And Hamilton able to get it back to the other 50-yard line, brought back by number 13, Michael Chiavrella. And some good starting ground here again for Hamilton, already up by 14-0 underway here in the second quarter.
Pretty good collision there. You could hear that one clearly up here in the booth. It's one of the reasons people love special teams so much. It's a lot of speed on speed, size on size contact. Oh, unnecessary roughness call here against Hamilton. Gonna push them back. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Big break there for Chatham-Kent. So the football back to the 45-yard line now.
Looks like we've got a timeout on the field now, Hamilton.
Back after the stoppage, 45-yard line, 1st and 10 here for Hamilton, keeping it on the ground. Cutting off to the right and finally getting taken out of bounds after a 5-yard pickup. Carry number 34, Nicholas Boonstra.
Good tackle there from Nathan McIntyre to fight off the blocker and make a pretty good solid hit here on the near sideline. Boonstra, though, already, you know, he's getting about 3 or 4 yards upfield before he's getting touched, so the Cougars going to have to find a way to get a little more penetration here. Some good blocking up front from Hamilton.
2nd and 4. Again, they keep it on the ground, finding the necessary yardage through a hole up the middle. And about a 6-yard carry. I think Betancourt was the young man who had the football that time around. So 6-yard pickup, 1st and 10 as it gets back into Chatham-Kent territory.
Looks like we've got a Cougar down. Josh Collins, number 40, taking a knee.
Doesn't take long for Collins to pop up, and looks like he's walking off under his own power. Looks fairly gingerly, so maybe a slight leg injury rather for Josh Collins.
Oh, looks like we got a... Well, we heard a timeout being called. Timeout being called by the Cougars. Some confusion there in that one, but nonetheless, sounds like they got sorted out. The Cougars call timeout. Bit of a slow pace to the second quarter.
Only a minute in. After the timeout, Hamilton back to offense and looking deep down the field. Wide open is a receiver. He's got him for a huge gain. And does he make it in? Yes, he does for the touchdown. Michael Chiavarella using some good speed and the great pass from Benno. He connects. And a big pass play, another touchdown for Hamilton, now up by 20.
Boy, that's a pass play of over 50 yards for the touchdown. I'm not sure if the corner on this side thought maybe he had safety help to the middle of the field, but nobody there, and the receiver just outran the defender to get to that open spot, and Nathan McIntyre makes the tackle, but just at the goal line, just as it's crossed, and Hamilton about to convert on its third touchdown of this first half.
So a 21-0 lead as Hamilton has opened up quite a sizable lead early in this second quarter. They've only played 1:15 in the second frame. And the Cougars have to go back to the drawing board here and try to work something out offensively. Nothing seems to be working for any length of time when they have the football. They got to figure something out fairly quickly here. It's already 21-0.
Yeah, that's certainly something that the coaching staff has said that they've struggled to find on offense, is any kind of rhythm so far this season. Looks like it's something that they're still working on. It's tough sledding when you have troubles getting the run game going. They really haven't gotten the run game sorted out in any of the home games that we've seen. And that puts a lot of pressure on your passing game. Good play there by Max Fantus. Obviously a directional kick there from Hamilton, trying to find an open spot and let one of their men maybe run under that football or look for an opportunistic bounce. But Max Fantus does a good job, catches that ball cleanly, and then actually is able to turn it upfield for a few yards.
Dropping back to pass, has to get it away quickly, and a reception close to the 50-yard line, hauled in by Ben Bartlett. 6, maybe 7-yard pickup on that pass play there. Quickly thrown by Butcher.
That's a nice little short pass and catch. Some positive yardage on first down. Certainly makes converting on second down a lot easier.
Seven yards, the pickup on that last throw from Butcher. Second down and 3. Dropping back to pass once again. Looking down the field is Butcher. And coming down with it. A reception inside the 35-yard line. And a big pass play by the Cougars. And that's maybe what they need. That's the spark they need to get things going offensively. Down by 3 major scores.
Boy, it looked like that ball slipped out of Jalen Butcher's hand. Nonetheless, though, like you said, Mike, it was completed. The wind picking up a little bit here looks to be in the face of the Cougars' offense.
Butcher out of the shotgun, gets the snap, and in a lot of pressure, has to hurry that pass in a big way. He is able to get it out of his hands before the Hamilton defender able to knock him down. 2nd and 10.
Looked like they were trying to set up a screen pass over there, but the pressure coming a little bit too quickly. As an offensive lineman, you want to give the impression that you're trying to block and not just let them go cleanly. And just Hamilton getting the defender there just a little bit too quickly.
2nd and 10, more pressure for Butcher. And he is able to find his intended receiver, hauled in by Marcus Shad. And that's going to be enough to move the chains in a first down here. So 2 consecutive big-time first downs for the Cougars. So things may be starting to wake up a bit offensively.
That's a nice throw there from Jalen Butcher. Best throw that we've seen so far today. Just pinpoint accuracy on that one. Beautiful spiral and right into the hands of Shad along that far sideline in stride, pick up a fresh set of downs.
And again, more pressure for Butcher, and that one falls incomplete. Jalen Butcher has had to hurry a whole bunch of throws so far in this game. Lots of pressure by the lineman for Hamilton. Second and 10, another throw for Butcher. And that one intended for Dewan Mayu. Falls incomplete, so third down and 10 from the 16-yard line. And the Cougars will go for 3 points here, you'd imagine?
Yeah, you'd think so. Jalen Butcher going off the field, so you figure this is a field goal attempt right here. Braden Fisher's going to line up for the field goal here, number 3. Oh, apologies. Fisher's going to hold. Yeah, that's, I believe, Trevor Niven with the attempt. Oh, and it's blocked.
It is blocked. Niven's field goal attempt does not get through it all, and it remains a 21-0 lead for the Cougars. So just when you think things are starting to roll in their favor a little bit and they might be getting a break or two, they still come away with no points at all.
Hard to tell if that kick was just a little bit low or if it was the penetration from the Hurricanes able to block the attempt, but nonetheless, it is blocked, and unfortunately for the Cougars, after that positive offensive drive, they don't come away with any points.
And things are whistled down before the snap. First and 10 for Hamilton. They keep it on the ground this time, and some room to move for the running back having this one is number 30 down the sideline. There is a flag that pops out around midfield all the way down to the end zone. And Inigwin.
This one, I think, is going to come back.
Impressive run for Osei Inigwin. But as you mentioned, Michael, I think everybody's coming back the other direction. This is going to be a Hamilton infraction.
Yeah, it's a holding call. Might be part of the reason that one went to the house. Although it was a pretty impressive run by number 30, breaking through a couple of tackle attempts, but just kept those legs pumping and just muscled his way through until he found some daylight and then turned the jets on and was gone.
So
feels like it's turned into a track meet out there.
The football now rested around the 30-yard line.
We've got another penalty here against Hamilton. Oh. Perhaps not. They just marked it from the wrong spot, apparently.
So 1st and 20. Ball now backed up to the 19-yard line. As Hamilton up by 21 has the football back once again. That last touchdown negated by the big penalty. Quarterback scrambling, trying to find somebody open down the field and trying to find Emmett Putt. Hits the turf before it reaches the receiver. There is another penalty flag down. But Benno had all day to try and find a target.
Yeah, the penalty there, the quarterback beyond the line of scrimmage. It did fall incomplete nonetheless, yes.
Pass, yeah. Second and 20. Quarterback under a fair bit of pressure here, still trying to find somebody downfield. The Cougars right on in his tail. Benno still with the football, and a big collision with the Cougars' Eric DeMars, who gets him out of bounds. 3rd down coming up here. And a big collision right around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, the linebacker, 34, DeMars, as you mentioned, and big number 6, the quarterback, Benno. Benno listed at 220. We don't have any numbers here for DeMars, but if I had to guess, he's probably no more than 185. Benno certainly with the height and weight advantage, but DeMars comes in and makes a nice lick and holds him short of the 1st down.
Third and 15. And Hamilton will kick it away up to the 50-yard line. Putting the brakes on and now reversing course. This is going to get the Cougars losing a few yards here on the return, backed up to their own 40, as Ben Bartlett thought he could kind of reverse course and maybe get some extra yardage by going to that far side of the field, but quickly wrapped up by the Hamilton defense and backed up a fair bit. There is a flag down.
Yeah, I believe this is going to be a hold against the Cougars, so likely going backwards a little bit more. Yeah, there it is. It is a holding call.
Flag down on the play here. 1st and 10.
Looks like it's against Hamilton here. Offside, 5-yard call.
So now just a manageable 1st and 5 here. And a pass complete along that far side and some good yards after the catch. Brought in by Marcus Shad. And that will be enough to move the chains. Another 1st down here for the Cougars. Down by 21.
Yeah, it was a good play play by Shad, as you mentioned, Mike, because had he been tackled right at the point where he had caught the football, he would have been short of the first down, but Shad makes a couple of tacklers miss there on that far side and gets enough for the first down.
Back to pass once again, and it's in and out of the hands of Tuan Mayu, who was wide open. Another short pass play there. And I think Mayu was thinking about the real estate he had in front of him to move, and weren't able to put the hands on the ball. Second and 10. Butcher bobbling the snap, getting it back, throwing it down the field, and incomplete, it says, at midfield. Intended for Marcus Shad. That was a very close play. Look from here that he got his hands underneath the football, but two officials down much closer to play saying incomplete. So
yeah, and didn't look like Shad was arguing all that much either. I think he also felt it was incomplete, or else might have heard a little more of a
protest, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps.
So that brings up 3rd and 10 from the 47-yard line. And once again, Niven to boot it away. Certainly gets a lot of height on the kick, maybe not so much in terms of distance. Picked up at the 45-yard line, and the no yards flag comes flying out. First and 10. Ball back in the hands of Hamilton. And they run it right up the middle, close to midfield. Gain of 4, maybe 5 yards. Four yards it is the pickup, so 2nd and 6 coming up here for very close to midfield. And they hand it off once again to the running back, and a couple of flags fly out. And Boonstra with the carry once again, getting just past midfield. Short of first down yardage by 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, it sounded like the Hurricanes were changing the play at the line of scrimmage based on the defense that the Cougars were showing. Looks like the officials pointing that this one's against Hamilton. Looks like it's a face mask against Hamilton. So that's a 15-yard penalty. I certainly didn't catch it. Don't know exactly where that happened.
Football comes all the way back to the 42-yard line. 3rd and 18 coming up.
Good job from the Cougars defense there. Not really giving up anything to Hamilton on that offensive possession. Ben Bartlett back as the lone return man.
Good kick there. Picked up by Bartlett. Tries to find some room along that far sideline. Tries to fight his way to the 45-yard line. He'll come up a little short from that marker, but still some decent field position to start off here for the Cougars. Still down 21-0. Just under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, you'd like to see the Cougars break open some kind of a big play here. Unfortunately, been victimized a couple times on defense, and just seems like the Cougars need a big play of their own here to turn the momentum a little bit. Had a pretty good drive the last time out, just failed to convert on a field goal attempt. See if they can't build off of that.
We've seen Butcher air things out a couple of times so far in this game. Butcher with the snap going up the middle, and this goes over top of a whole bunch of helmets and falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Looked like maybe Marcus Shad, the intended receiver there, number 7, but that ball just a little bit high from Jalen Butcher.
Second and 10. Butcher looking for anybody now. A little bit of trouble right behind him. He's hearing footsteps, trying to get that football away, and he does toss it out of bounds over top everyone's head. And that falls incomplete. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, the only available receiver in that area was Dwan Mayu. As you mentioned, though, Jalen Butcher under intense pressure, 3 or 4 Hurricanes chasing him down from behind. And Butcher was just running out of real estate, couldn't hold on to the football much longer before he was going to hit the sideline, so just throws it away and saves the lost yardage.
21-0. Not a whole lot of things going right for the Cougars offensively so far this first half against the Hamilton Hurricanes. Varsity level football here with TV Coach Co. Mike Renier, Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera for you. Heading closer to halftime, 3:51 left to go. And the football going right back to the Hamilton Hurricanes.
Trevor Niven not happy with that kick attempt. You can see the dejection after that one got away. Looked like off the side of his foot there. Hamilton going to have pretty decent field position here to start. Already up 21-0. Sure, the Cougar defenders thinking to themselves, just don't want to let this one get too far to hand before halftime.
Keep it at 21. Maybe try and hit a score before halftime and see what happens in the second half. Good job defensively there by the Cougars to stop the running back in his tracks and even back things up maybe a yard or two.
Good job there from the defenders. Zach Goodeberg and Dorian Payne dropping the running back for a 1 yard, 2 yard loss.
Back to pass and diving to his right, unable to pick up that line drive pass from Benno. And that falls incomplete, so 3rd down and 11 coming up. So we hit the 3-minute warning.
Yeah, it looks like another blood timeout. Nathan McIntyre walking off the field. Looked like the official spotted some blood around his lower leg area, so he's having that tended to on the sideline. Again, for obvious reasons, yeah, you have to leave the field and have that tended to before you can come back onto the playing field. You know, I think we've said it before, it never used to be that way, but
last 20, 25 years, that's really been a thing across all sports and all levels.
That's right. There we go, Nathan McIntyre back on the field now. We've got 2 return men now back there, Dwan Mayu and McIntyre, number 11.
Lots of speed that back there for the Cougars. And now they fake the kick and almost worked out, but just a little bit too high for the intended receiver, Stephen McNichol, to hang on to it. Bounced off of one hand, looked like he was juggling it. He might have still come down with a circus catch, but ultimately it falls to the turf. And McNichol a little bit dejected that he didn't come up with that football off of the fake kick.
It's funny too, 22, Zach Konecki looked like he had a beat on that football. Like maybe he was going to have a chance to intercept it, but just kind of tripped himself up on his way to potentially make the interception or even make the tackle. But nonetheless, great field position here with 2:36 to go for the Cougars to put a score on the board before half.
Out of the shotgun again, up the middle, and it looks like it is hauled in. Good job by the Cougars, and is that Konecki that hauled it in? Oh, was it Ben Bartlett? Yeah. That's right, 83 on the reception, so Bartlett connecting with Jalen Butcher. Up to the 34-yard line. Flag comes out immediately. Scrambling is the quarterback, and just before he gets hauled down, he just backhand shovels that football out of his hands. We'll see if that was a free play or not. It is offside against the Hamilton Hurricanes.
You can hear the head coach of the Cougars, Jeff Green, not happy that the play continued and his quarterback took a pretty big hit there.
So 1st and 5 after that penalty. Once again, the pressure is big on the quarterback, still gets it away. And along that far sideline, the football does drop incomplete.
And I believe you said it earlier, Mike, but I'll certainly reiterate it. Jalen Butcher has been under intense pressure most of this game, not having a lot of time to draw it back and find the receiver. Really not a lot of time to go through his reads.
2nd and 5. Butcher receives the snap, again has some pressure, goes up towards the end zone, and coming down with it with a touchdown. Chatham-Kent Cougars with their first points of the afternoon and a major score, hauling that one in, Dwan Mayu. And now 21-6, doesn't seem quite so bad now, and the offense starting to maybe gel a little bit at the end of the first half.
Yeah, good catch there from Dwan Mayu, just timing it right. Just himself and the defender right there. And competing for that football, and Mayu just able to fight that football away from the defender. And well, that's just what we talked about, the Cougars needing a big play and maybe being able to get something before the end of this half. They had good field position to start, and do get on the board with that big touchdown reception from Dwan Mayu from Jalen Butcher. Now they trail just 14 points to Hamilton, 21-7 now the score.
Still quite a climb, but it's a starting point, and none too soon for the Cougars. Maybe some momentum to build on here. See what the defense can do in this perhaps last drive of the first half, as Hamilton will get the football back here momentarily. But if they can get a good showing here by the defense, head off into the clubhouse for halftime, maybe get some momentum. You never know what's going to happen in the start of the second.
No, certainly. The Cougars needed a big play on offense, and looks like they finally got one right there with that touchdown reception from Dwan Mayu. Now the key is to continue to build on it. You can't just, rest your laurels on one big play, obviously, but, sometimes it's all it takes to get your confidence up and, start to gel as an offense. They've certainly struggled in that department, but, it's never really too late. And, it's something to build on. Just trailing by 2 scores now. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen, and it's certainly not insurmountable.
Good kick. Picked up by Hamilton, under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Good return, though, along the far sideline, still on his feet, heading down, and finally tripped up at the 40-yard line of Chatham-Kent. But good stuff there by Chiavarella. And he's got the speed. He has been used wisely here tonight, and he has burned the Cougars. He's already got one receiving touchdown. And a good return man, too.
Yeah, credit to his blockers in front of him. Didn't look like he really got touched until he passed midfield. So good job reading his blockers in front of him and using his speed to get upfield.
And a minute 47 to work with here. Excellent field position for Hamilton. They keep it on the ground on 1st and 10. Run right up the middle. And a gain of roughly 5. And once again on the ground, it is Chiavarella.
Good read there from number 13. Was looking to bounce that to the outside, but then saw the safety come up, and so he bounced it back inside, picked up another couple yards before he was finally dragged down, but nice pickup on first down, 7 yards for Hamilton. Yeah,
so a very manageable 2nd and 3 coming up under 90 seconds to play in the second quarter. Benno with the snap once again, leaving it to the running back. Trying to cut a quarter along the far side. Good job by the Cougars. A couple of tacklers. And Boonstra with the carry that time around for Hamilton.
Looked like that was Nathan McIntyre and Tanner Emery combining on the tackle, but good job by both. Unfortunately enough, though, for Hamilton to get the first down.
It's been a lengthy second quarter. First and 10. Quarterback rolling to his right, and and a big hit, and a couple of flags coming out after what maybe they determined as a late hit is Trevor Niven. Laid into his man.
Yeah, that was Trevor Niven with the big hit on the receiver, who was clearly defenseless. and the hit came a little bit late. The ball was past the receiver.
So that'll get the Cougars dinged some more.
Niven, who also serves as the kicker for the Cougars. Certainly that hit not typically indicative of a kicker's mentality, but
not generally, no.
No. They're more a peaceful type.
More of a handshake.
Yeah.
Ball all the way to the 14-yard line. Hamilton keeps it on the ground and finds the room up the middle.
Osaye Igunyin with that carry again does a nice job just kind of maneuvering his way through that traffic in the middle and picks up good 6-7 yards on first down. Just finds his way shifting in the hole, and really nice running from number 30.
30 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 4 coming up. Quarterback looking for his man towards the end zone, and quickly wrapped up by Thomas Van Ray, was the receiver.
Number 6, Zachary Beno, the quarterback, really kind of like your prototypical passer. He's built 6'3", 220, stands in the pocket. We have seen him scramble outside the pocket, but from what we've seen here in this first half, looks like he likes to just sit in the pocket, gets good protection, and really has a nice zip on his football. Looks to throw a really good football. Very catchable ball for his receivers. 1st
and goal from the 5 here for Hamilton. Final few seconds of the second quarter. Quarterback scrambling, finding his man in the end zone for another touchdown. And hauled in by Billy Olds, number 9, with his first major score of the evening. And the 3-touchdown lead reestablished here for Hamilton.
Just well done. Beno just goes through his reads. He's got enough time, not really pressured, and finds the open man and puts it right on the money.
(28-7) now your score, as we're just 8.5 seconds away from halftime.
So far, it looks like a pretty balanced attack from Hamilton. Passing game's been very strong and accurate, and the running game as well, very productive. They use multiple backs. They've had good success on the ground as well, so tough to really key in on one thing if you're the Cougars defense.
Trying to regroup at halftime, talk some things over, down by 21. And that ball goes out of bounds off the kick. So that would give the Cougars good field position, but not a whole lot of time to work with here. We'll come back to the 40-yard line, but only 8.5 seconds to go. Getting out of a world of trouble there was the quarterback. A second chance to do something with the football. Jalen Butcher didn't find anybody in the area, so he just throws it away for the final play of the first half.
There was a flag there, but Hamilton said they declined it because there was no receiver in the area, but they just wanted the first half to be over, so they declined the penalty.
So 28-7 is where we are at halftime, and really a half to forget for the Chatham-Kent Cougars in what was a cavalcade of turnovers early in the first quarter. Didn't really get a lot better from there. So down by 21 heading into the break. Things hopefully will turn around in quarter number 3. 28-7, the Hamilton Hurricanes leading your Chatham-Kent Cougars heading into halftime. Back with the second half action in just a bit. Come on back. It is Mike along with TV Coach Co. Halftime done, and here we go for the third quarter at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And the Cougars have some work to do down by 21. They get the football to begin the third quarter. And they will start with field position around their own 35-yard line or thereabouts.
Looks like it was Tanner Emery with that reception on the short kick.
First and 10 for the Cougars, and big hit after the reception. But the play was blown dead before that play was really underway there.
Yeah, surprised that play continued because the whistles came in before, just as maybe the pass was being thrown, and Max Fantus made the catch right in the middle of the field and then paid the price for it. Unfortunately, the play didn't even count.
Ball backed up. Some early movement by the Cougars. It's 1st and 15 now.
I think he'd like a refund on that hit.
From the 30. Quarterback in a little bit of trouble keeping it himself, and scrambling past the 35-yard line was Butcher. And he gains about 6 on that play. So just past the original line of scrimmage.
Butcher just saw a hole there. There was a little bit of pressure and scrambled through. A little more manageable second down anyway than the 1st and 15 they were facing.
2nd and 9, Butcher with the football, surveying the field, trying to get his man along the far side, and that is an incomplete pass intended for Dwan Mayu. That'll bring up 3rd and 9, and the kicking team out. And a big crunch at around the 30-yard line as the Cougars kick it away.
Good
and the
coverage.
Offense comes on the field for Hamilton, Michael.
Sorry about that, Mike. Good coverage there from the Cougars special teams after the return man couldn't pick that one up cleanly. Heard a few good pops up here in the booth today. That being one of them.
Keeping it on the ground on 1st and 10, crossing the 35-yard line, and that's about it. That is Nicholas Boonstra again with another carry. But a 3-yard pickup for Boonstra. On 2nd and 6, quarterback evading a big tackle, rolling to his left, able to complete the pass towards midfield. This is going to be first down a lot more, and there's a flag that comes flying out around the 50-yard line.
Maybe maybe in the area of where a face mask, perhaps. Unnecessary roughness, the face mask call against Hamilton.
After the first down was achieved. Keeping it on the ground. Finding a hole along the right-hand side, turning the corner, and crossing midfield was Nicholas Boonstra. And so before the face mask penalty pushed them back a fair chunk of yards, back to midfield comes Hamilton with the football. Another good run from Boonstra.
Yeah, Boonstra's run the ball pretty well today. Nice tandem of running backs Hamilton has with Boonstra and Iginwin, number 30. They both picked up yards in big chunks today.
Quarterback Benno dropping back to pass, finds his man up to the around 47-yard line. Falls forward maybe another yard or so. And gains 6, maybe 7 yards in that play there.
Really been impressed with Benno today. Just seems so comfortable sitting in the pocket.
As you mentioned, his patience is really one of his best qualities. He's got very patient, very mellow with the football.
Yeah, he just scans the field looking for that open receiver, and when he finds that open receiver, it just seems like he's got that good quick release and the ball gets there in a hurry and really puts the ball on the money.
Benno again to pass, finds a receiver, and quickly triple teamed by a bunch of green and white jerseys, and that is hauled in by Jake Williams.
Zach Konecki with one of the tacklers there for the Cougars.
From the 39-yard line, Benno again finds his man along the far side. Still on his feet, still in bounds, heading towards the end zone, and it is a touchdown for Hamilton. Receiver stays in bounds and rumbles to the end zone for 6 points. And tack on more for the Hurricanes. They now lead 34-7.
Well, that was, again, another beautifully thrown ball by Benno. Puts it to the outside where only the receiver can get it and hits him right in stride. And that's part of the reason the receiver is able to take it to the house, doesn't have to break stride at all, and just continues running, using that speed to elude the Cougars defenders and put another 6 on the board. And we're just hearing from some of the parents in the crowd here that have made the trek from Hamilton that Benno is actually the backup quarterback. He's actually only 15 years old. But wow. Because of the some of the players that have been selected to play, we understand the starting quarterback for Hamilton's playing for Team Canada. So Benno got the call-up from JV apparently, and only 15 years old. But boy, pretty impressive performance here from Benno in this start for the varsity club.
It goes to show you how deep normally this Hamilton club is, and the roster of kids they have to draw from if they're getting all these people that are competing for the Nationals. And the squad that is with Hamilton tonight doing a good job. 35-7, 28-point lead over the Cougars, and still 9:47 to play in the third quarter as they kick it back off to Chatham-Kent. Scoots past number 82, Ben Bartlett. He's going to go back to scoop it up. And the Cougars will be dropped back fairly deep in their own zone.
Well, yeah, tough position for the Cougars here. I mean, it was tough already when Hamilton put that last score on the board, but making it even tougher is the field position now the Cougars offense is faced with, deep in their own end, trailing 35-7.
12-yard line is where the Cougars will begin. 9.5 to play in quarter number 3. And in a world of trouble and brought down
there was
a quarterback, Butcher, and was he brought down in the end zone?
Well, there was a flag that came out. I think it was Hamilton just a little bit too eager there. I think that was an offside from the defense. So I think the Cougars going to get a free 5 yards here. We have flags on both sides of the field.
And Butcher again trying to dance out of trouble. And brought down. Football squirts loose, but the play was blown dead. And a very minimal gain on 1st and 5. 1st and 10, pardon me. So 2nd and 9 coming up. Second and 9, deep in their own territory, and trying to find a speedy Max Fantus cutting up the middle. A little bit too far out of Fantus' reach. It falls incomplete, and a 3rd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Fantus had some space there right in the middle of the football field, but Butcher just unable to find the big tight end streaking up the middle. Falls incomplete. Again, on that drive, we're seeing Jalen Butcher under intense pressure in the backfield. Not a lot of time back there. Forced to use his athleticism and try to escape and make something happen.
Nevin is just going to take the football and take a knee in the end zone.
So the
So
Cougars
electing not to punt it away, and he takes the safety instead.
Yeah, they sacrificed the 2 points and will punt it away to Hamilton, but just didn't want to sacrifice the field position.
So that makes it a 37-7 game, 8:03 to go, still in the 3rd quarter. The Cougars getting ready to kick this one away after the safety. Tough day at the office here for the Varsity Cougars. Down by 30.
The wind has really died down here in the second half. Still a little bit of a breeze, but it was gusting certainly stronger earlier.
And the sun is setting and the wind's dying down at the same time.
Mix of sun and cloud today. Comfortable day out. About, I'd guess, maybe 24 or 75.
Good weather report. Big collision between Jesse Stewart and Matthew Tate right at midfield, right at this end of the field.
Oh, another good collision on special teams. Could hear that one up here, no problem.
Big collision.
A flag on that play as well. Looks like that one's coming back. A holding call against Hamilton there.
Ball back to the 50-yard line now for Hamilton. And some early movements and flags flying out.
Yeah, that one's going to be against Hamilton. Looked like they moved just a little bit too quickly. They'll march that one back.
So they continue to march backwards here with all these penalties against them. Set up a 1st and 15 now from their own 45.
Sound like there was a Hamilton fan not happy with that call.
One or two. Keep it on the ground on 1st and 15, and a big hole right up the middle. Running back still on his feet, finding a hole along that far side in front of his own bench. And a huge gain for Eric Blake. Blake found all the holes, and a giant gain there as he gets past the 40-yard line, it looks like. Up to the 35. Benno again leaves it on the ground, running back right up the middle.
Oh, late flags now. Maybe
Blake
some
again
frustration now.
A little bit. Getting late in the third quarter, getting up there in the third quarter anyway, in a blowout game, 37-7. We might only see more of that as the quarter and the fourth quarter drags on here.
Yeah, it's an objectionable conduct against the Cougars, so that's a 15-yard penalty tacked on. It was likely to be the case with the flags coming out well after the play was already over. And there's still 6:23 and counting to go here in the third quarter.
Oh, quarterback and
boy.
running back colliding almost like magnets, and they were stuck together for quite a few seconds. And now more flags coming out at the end of that play after some miscommunication between Benno and Chiavarella. Saw them tangled up for what seemed like a few seconds.
That's really the first miscue that we've seen in the backfield today, and considering Benno is the backup, that's pretty good. This penalty going against the Cougars again, it looks like.
Thought I saw unnecessary roughness, the call from the referee. That marches the football all the way up to the 1-yard line.
The officials over talking to the head coach of the Cougars, I guess explaining the penalty.
So 1st and goal from the 1 for Hamilton. Benno hands it off to the running back and easily scampering in for the touchdown, Michael Chiavarella. And another major score here for Hamilton as they increase their lead, 43-7.
Well, unfortunately, I know that feeling when it's sometimes just not fun to be on the football field. And unfortunately, in these types of games, trailing 43-7, sometimes it's just not as enjoyable as you'd like it to be.
And you look at the clock and you say, I still have a quarter and a half of football to play, and can't be all that easy to give it your all in that situation either. Flag comes out as the extra point kick went up.
Might have been somebody making contact with the center. Looked like somebody was trying to jump the center on the block, maybe where the flag came out.
from the end zone. Cougars trying to get a decent return, and they are getting a very good return out of this one to the 30-yard line, or close to the 30 anyway, past the 25, and from a few yards deep into the end zone. Good job by the return team for the Cougars.
Yeah, good job, because after that penalty was assessed on the kickoff, that kick was at least 10 yards deep into the end zone. For a moment there, it looked like that might break out into a big one.
Up to the 29, as a matter of fact. Under 5.5 to play in the third quarter. Back to pass, a whole world of trouble, but they're able to get it off to the receiver, Shad. And Butcher showing some patience there, finding Marcus Shad and completing a pass.
There was a penalty at the end of that one, too. I think it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback. Yeah, roughing the passer. So they'll tack on yardage onto the end of that reception.
Football comes past the 45, around the 46-yard line, so close to midfield. Here's Butcher going up the middle, finding his man, and some big yardage here. Bartlett scampering towards the end zone. A couple of opponents on his back, but he gets past the goal line, and a touchdown for Max Fantus for the Cougars. Great job for Fantus to catch the football and drag a couple of defenders from Hamilton behind him the last few yards and into the end zone for the Cougars' second major of the evening.
57-yard touchdown catch there from Jalen Butcher to Max Fantus. Nice throw by Butcher, hitting Fantus in stride right down the middle of the field. We saw one earlier in this game that fell just incomplete with Fantus running down the seam. That time, Butcher doesn't miss him, hits him right in stride, and Big 85 rumbles in for the score. Some good speed there from Fantus as well to outrun the defender. Fantus, no small cookie, but able to fight off the defender the last couple yards. He could feel the pressure coming behind him, but good job getting to the end zone and putting another major on the board.
So with 4:37 left to go in the third quarter, a little bit of life here for the offense for the Cougars, still down by 30. But a nifty passing play, good throw by Butcher, finding Fantus for the major.
Might see a little bit of trickery here from the Cougars. Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's really not going to cost you too much. Trailing 44-14. Try to get your offense the ball back. Maybe go for a little chip shot kickoff. See if you can't place one in a position where you give your guys a chance to recover the football.
Good, solid boot down the field. Picked up by Hamilton. And still on his feet. Good return shaping up here. And past the 35-yard line.
We got a whistle before this one even gets started. Timeout Hamilton.
Hamilton keeps it on the ground on 1st and 10. And scampering for a bunch of yards there. To be Joel Claremont that time around. Eight-yard pickup on the ground for Hamilton. Second and 2. And going to the air, quarterback dropping the football, getting it back, and finding his man along the near side, completing it to Quincy Reed. Slot back brings it in, and that's going to move the chains. Another first down here for Hamilton.
Ben Bartlett with the tackle. Oh, we do have a flag on the far end of the field. Holding against Hamilton, the call.
So that will back up the football. Negate that first down that was obtained by Reed on the reception. Backing it up, that's now a 2nd and 12 coming up here. Going high in the air along the far sideline, and somehow a receiver comes down with it in front of his own bench. What a pass there by Benno. I couldn't see who's the receiver was that hauled it in.
Looked like it might have been Quincy Reed with the catch, who actually had the reception on the previous play as well, but because the penalty was negated. And Benno, to be honest, if he had been able to put that ball out a little bit further, Reed had a couple steps on the nearest defender, was actually waiting for that ball to come down.
Beautiful pass play there. Another great completion for Benno, who's having one heck of an evening. And the ball moves up to the Cougars' 38-yard line. Benno hands it off once again and powering his way right up the middle, getting through a whole bunch of tackles, and ball comes loose actually, and it is recovered by Chatham-Kent. Betancourt had the football. It looked like he was bowling over everybody in his way, but that ball came loose, and the Cougars now have the football. So that's a big break for Chatham-Kent there.
Good job by the defense staying poised out there.
(44-14), Hamilton on top. 1:35 remaining in the third quarter. Quarterback with some pressure, still behind the line of scrimmage, elects to throw it, and in and out of the hands. I believe Charlie Eklund was the intended receiver there, and Butcher had lots of pressure yet again. Tried to find Eklund in the last moment and just couldn't hang on to it.
Funny, I think there was some miscommunication there between the receivers because Fan 2 is also in the same area. Fantus and Eklund maybe even colliding in midair there. Somebody, I believe, likely ran the wrong route.
Second and 10. Back to pass once again down the field. And kind of a jump ball. Only getting one hand on it there was Tuan Mayu for the Cougars. And again, falling incomplete, so 3rd and 10 coming up here. And once again, the Cougars will have to punt it away after taking the football away in a fumble.
Pretty decent distance on that kick, but Trevor Niven just not necessarily liking the direction. Went out of bounds a little bit earlier than he had hoped or would have liked.
Final few seconds to go in the third quarter. 20 seconds and counting. Right at midfield. The Hamilton Hurricanes, again, will keep it on the ground right up the middle in a hole, big hole. And number 33 with the carry that time around. And Nicholas Baldini with one of his perhaps only carries of the evening. One of the running backs that is little used so far, but he might get a few carries in the fourth quarter as we're now done quarter number 3. But a good run up the middle for Baldini.
Baldini, almost a Houdini there, was nearly gone on that run. Just dragged down before he was about to break that one loose. Gotta say, hard to believe it's only the end of the third quarter here. No. Looks like we have a timeout on the field. Cougars looks like we needed to make a substitution.
Benno back to pass. Short pass along the near sideline. It is caught by number 3, Watola. And he hauls it in just outside of the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Watola comes in motion across the formation from the far side and just brings his route out into the flat and is an easy target for Benno.
And my apologies, that play will officially end the third quarter, so now they change positions on the field. They swap sides, and we will begin the fourth. In a one-sided affair, it's a 44-14 lead for the Hamilton Hurricanes over the Varsity Cougars. Once again, Benno dropping back to pass to begin the fourth quarter. Down the field in the end zone. It is caught for another touchdown as Samuel Berube gets a major score for Hamilton. And now their offensive output is into the 50s now.
A 30-yard strike from Benno to Berube, as you mentioned. And boy, that was a beautifully thrown football right through the skyline just as the sun is setting in the background, and perfect spiral right into the receiver's hands. 30-yard strike, and Hamilton just flexing their muscle here and building onto that big lead.
And they fake the kick for the extra points, and they run it into the end zone. They get an extra one on top of that, so 2.
Yeah, that was Berube again, who was the holder. So Berube accounting for all 8 points on that one. Runs it in.
Now 52-14. And as you mentioned, Mike, earlier on in the broadcast, you have 5 or 6, anyway, a handful of Hamilton Hurricanes not with the club as they're competing in a national championship, and good on them. That's a deep organization you have in Hamilton. But you got to think, if you had those players here tonight, the score could be a lot worse. You go to think, anyway.
I don't know that it could get worse than the
either that or
points.
The backups on this Hurricane club are, just as good as the starters, and it's an incredibly deep team.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's a credit certainly to the depth that Hamilton has. There's no doubt about that. I mean, to learn that the quarterback is only 15 years old, I mean, that tells you something. He's really impressed me tonight with his arm strength and accuracy. Really hard to believe, he's about 6'3", 220 pounds, and he's only 15 years old.
That's frightening to me.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even imagine being that size at 15.
Let alone 35 or whatever, yeah.
Right, and just the poise that he's shown in the pocket. I mean, he just doesn't look like he's phased at all whatsoever, just unflappable. He's only had to scramble, a couple, 3, 4, 5 times out of the pocket, and he's looked fantastic doing it. And then just sitting in the pocket and picking the defense apart, he's just been spot on. It's almost been a clinic from the 15-year-old. It's hard to imagine. So certainly a name to watch for down the road is big number 6, Zach Benno. Really been impressive. And then the run game for Hamilton has been very strong as well. So a very, very balanced and dangerous attack from Hamilton.
Yeah, all facets of the game just working really well for Hamilton tonight. Going deep down the field, and a reception to Mayu crossing the 35-yard line. He was that close, maybe an extra step from going all the way in for a major score. But hey, Mayu and the offense of the Cougars will take that. Little bit of a bobble right when it came to his hand, so you're a little bit nervous, but he was able to haul that one in and bring it all the way up to close to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, nice throw there from Jalen Butcher right on the money. And as you mentioned, that little bobble from Dwan Mayu, I'm sure his heart dropped into his gut for a second as he had that one in stride and able to hold on to it and just track down from behind. But beautiful catch and run there from Dwan Mayu.
I'm sure that bobble in real time seemed to be about a half an hour to him.
Yeah, no doubt.
It would take forever, but he caught it, and a big gain, a nice vertical leap that time for the Cougars.
That's a nice catch there.
Absolutely, bringing that football down was Charlie Eklund, and so a tall fella to begin with, and he brought that one down. So a good reception on 1st and 10, actually close to another first down, but a yard shy, so a 9-yard pickup for Eklund and for Butcher.
Yeah, and Eklund, I understand, I believe he joined the team a little bit late in the season, to be honest with you.
Up the middle and off of the fingertips that time of Marcus Shad as they were going up the middle for the pass. Falls incomplete, so 3rd and 1 coming up now. And a very low snap. Dug out of the turf, but now a whole world of danger here for the quarterback, and Butcher's brought down. And a little slow to get up, but it looks like he's going to be all right. But that snap was almost rolled across the grass.
Yeah, a little ground ball for the baseball converted quarterback. We mentioned a couple weeks ago the home game. Jalen Butcher wasn't here. He's at least a two-sport athlete. We understand was away at playing baseball in the United States.
Back here tonight, it's been a rough go on both sides of the football for the Cougars. Varsity Cougars down 52-14. Now Hamilton with the football and the turnover on downs. They keep it on the ground, and a huge hole up the middle, all the way up to the Cougars' 50-yard line. And once again, Nicholas Baldini with the carry, and he just ran rampant down the field. Nobody really around him at all.
No, just some nice holes there opened up from that offensive line. Baldini just taking advantage and using that speed and shiftiness.
On 1st and 10, once again, Hamilton content to keep it on the ground. Flag flies out. And Eric Blake with the carry that time around. Close to first down yardage. We'll see what the flag has here. And it's holding against Hamilton, so that run will go for naught. Another flag flies out here.
Was that a secondary, or? I believe so, yeah.
Some extracurriculars or talking going on.
If I had been listening a little more carefully, I probably would have been able to have heard the comment coming out of the Hamilton huddle.
Ball gets marched all the way back to the 40-yard line now.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if the player leaving the field was the individual who was flagged for the verbal comment that drew the flag.
First down and 30 now for Hamilton. Way back to their 40-yard line, dropping back to pass, and well over top of the head of the likely intended receiver, Jordan Watts, number 82. Second and 30, dropping back to pass, finding nobody open at all, and now a scramble to get out of danger. Almost brought down, and now there's going to be some positive yardage on this run here past the 50-yard line. And some magic from Zachary Benno. I'm not sure how he got out of trouble around that 35, 40-yard line, let alone bring it close to midfield.
He moves pretty good for a big kid.
Absolutely. Good agility.
Oh, we have a flag on the far side of the field.
Another one against Hamilton.
Yeah, this one's a hold.
It's getting a little sloppy here with a giant lead, 52-14.
I feel like it's Groundhog Day. You know, they run a play, they'll gain, 10, 12 yards, then there's a penalty, march back, another play, 10, 12 yards, penalty, march back. Same area of the field where we had 6 turnovers in the course of about 3 minutes.
I got you, babe, from Sonny and Cher comes on the alarm clock. Yeah, there just seems to be a bad luck charm. This chunk of yardage, this 10-yard chunk of yardage where the ball is now. Bad things seem to happen off on this football game.
It's the Bermuda Triangle of the of this varsity football game between Hamilton and Chatham-Kent. Anything between the 30 and the 45.
You don't want to be there for too long.
Mysterious.
You get out of there as quick as you can. 2nd and 40. And the football comes loose here.
That snap did not even get back to the quarterback. And the Cougars recover it. Yeah, it looked like the center hit his own rear end with the football, and the ball didn't make it back to the quarterback and resulted in the fumble, and the Cougars jumped on it.
So a bad sequence of events there for the Hamilton Hurricanes.
It was in the triangle.
It was in the triangle. They couldn't make it out. They couldn't make it out. They turned the football over, and the Cougars take it right back. But quote unquote in the triangle, though, Cougars didn't have a lot of, nice chances either. They turned it in that first quarter. They turned it over just as many times in that frame of.
No, that's right. It's not just for one team.
No.
It affects both teams.
So we'll see what happens with the Cougars' possession here. 1st and 10. They take over in the opposition 30. And again, the quarterback has a whole world of trouble, backed up to almost midfield. And, he almost completes it. Ben Bartlett was right there.
Jalen Butcher's all the way back at his own 50-yard line. And the line of scrimmage is the 30.
That would have been a 300-yard sack right there. That would have been just.
He's 30 yards from the line of scrimmage. Gives you an idea of how far he ran to get away from that pressure.
He was almost a Lake St. Clair. But somehow able to throw it away and/or almost complete that pass to Ben Bartlett, who was somehow in the vicinity. 2nd and 10 coming up. Another chance, and losing his footing before the football got there was Charlie Eklund, well before the football got there. And the ball falls incomplete. So 3rd and 10.
Now, some might be asking themselves why the clock isn't ticking because it is lopsided. We understand the coaches have to agree on a running clock, and they can't be approached by the officials if they'd like to agree on running the clock.
You have to figure that neither team would necessarily be opposed to it at this point.
The Cougars, Trevor Niven, going to attempt a field goal here of about 36 yards.
And it's distance, wide right. But it is wide along that far side, and now ran out by Hamilton. And past the 25-yard line.
That was a good tackle there on that far side. Hard to see who it was because that might have been a touchdown-saving tackle. Looked like that might have been Braden Fisher, number 3.
First and 10, they run it on the ground once again. And given to Boonstra.
We got a late flag at the end of that play. This is a penalty-filled second half.
Another penalty against Hamilton.
Yeah, holding call against the Hurricanes.
First and 20 here for Hamilton. Again, they keep it on the ground. And running back able to bowl his way up to around the 35-yard line. Good balanced attack on the ground for Hamilton.
And we could hear the fans in the stands celebrating that there were no flags.
That's a start. You're up 52-14, and they've been heavily flagged the last number of plays.
Yeah, I heard some of the fans below us here from Hamilton talking about how many flags maybe they've had go against them, and they were saying at least 15. Oh, we understand 18 now.
Quarterback keeps the football, and scampering out of bounds to Zachary Benno.
Looks like that's enough for a first down.
Benno again back to pass. Finds another receiver. 45-yard line.
We have not seen very many passes hit the ground for Hamilton today at all. Very few.
Benno's got a strong arm, and he knows where to throw it too. Six-yard pickup on the ground the last time. 2nd and 4 coming up. And again, they keep it on the ground up the middle. Another gain of about 6, maybe 7 that time. Good enough for another first down.
Looked like maybe that was Nicholas Faria, number 31, with the carry. And a nice run from Faria. Had some contact about 2 or 3 times throughout that run and didn't go down.
Clock at 5:30 remaining in the fourth quarter and counting. Here's Benno again going high in the air down the field and a little bit too far for the intended receiver. Looked like that was Jonah MacArthur Bolton, the intended receiver that time around.
One of the few incomplete passes, and a nicely thrown ball again from Benno, but just a little bit too long for the receiver.
Quarterback rolling to his left. And almost picked off, getting his body in front of it and getting a good leap was Ben Bartlett. But he wasn't able to seal the deal. Knocked away, 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, it was actually a good job by the intended receiver, Jonah MacArthur Bolton. turned into, went from receiver to defensive back and knew that ball had a chance of being picked off. Knocked it out of the hands of Ben Bartlett just when he thought he had an interception. The intended receiver came over and did a good job, saved his quarterback from throwing a pick. Now Bartlett goes back to return the punt.
Flags come out. No yards penalty.
Looks like that penalty going against Hamilton.
Been a heavily penalized team here late in this game, the fourth quarter. But they enjoy a 52-14 lead. Now with 4 minutes remaining in the last frame.
Setting up the screen pass there.
Butcher successfully finds his man.
Well read by that Hamilton defense. That really hasn't given up a lot today at all. Pretty indicative of the 14 points the Cougars have on the scoreboard.
Butcher again back to pass and in and out of the hands of Max Fantus. So 3rd and 11 coming up.
I think Fantus would like to have that one back. Just couldn't hold on to it. Would have been short of the first down, but still a good pass from Jalen Butcher.
Good kick by the Cougars. Back past the 30-yard line. And now a lot of room to move along this near side. Past the 50-yard line. Hamilton looking for a flag. Hamilton fans giving the referees a bunch of business there, looking for a flag on Trevor Niven. I think Niven even playing to the crowd a little bit too.
Yeah, it was the fans in the stands not happy from Hamilton. Trevor Niven coming across what looked to be a trip on that tackle, and tripping not allowed. But no call there. So there were penalties on both sides that time after we heard the call from the official.
A little bit of trouble. Benno trying to just maybe find anywhere to pass it. It's going to be a sack, though, for the Cougars. Doing a good job defensively there with their coverage. And bringing down the quarterback. A sizable sack there.
Perhaps Dorian Payne, number 50 for the Cougars with the sack. First sack, I believe, of the day for the Cougars.
It's been that kind of a day. Third and 18. And bouncing football gets past the return man for the Cougars. Ben Bartlett goes back to get it. And they will start from their own 49-yard line. First and 10 coming up for the Cougars. The final minute 44 of this game.
No yards penalty against Hamilton there, because Bartlett didn't touch it when it got past him the first time, so it wasn't a live football.
Quarterback in a whole bunch of heat once again, scrambling out of trouble, and pass falls incomplete past the 45-yard line. And once again, Jalen Butcher heard footsteps quickly.
Yeah, that one I believe intended for Max Fantus. And you're right, Jalen Butcher running for his life back there on that play, scrambling around, trying to keep the play alive and try to find a receiver.
Second and 10, Butcher tries again. Again downfield and tried to go upstairs for Dwan Mayu. And a flag comes flying out.
Yeah, that'll be a flag for a hit on a defenseless receiver. Some of the fans from Hamilton not happy with that call, but it is an offense to hit a defenseless receiver, so.
And they're up 52-14. Going to the air and picked off. And some big-time speed after the pick here for Hamilton. Still on his feet, and a whole truckload of Cougars in on the tackle, and here comes a flag out.
Yeah, the official's going to have to sort out the flags here. Multiple flags on that play. At the end of the play, as the tackle was occurring, I'm not sure if the ball maybe came loose, and that's why we saw another player from the Cougars jump in. Okay, apparently there was a bit of a skirmish after the play as well. So this game has gotten a little bit out of control, and with a score of 52-14. Looks like we have a flag now on the bench.
Things getting a wee bit ugly here.
Yep, certainly are.
74 seconds left of football to go.
This has been a penalty-filled affair, certainly in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And really, they just need to get this game over and done with a minute 8 and counting now to go. 52-14 for Hamilton.
And this football, was it intercepted? I think it was.
No, it falls incomplete.
It falls incomplete. All right, very close from Jalen Butcher as he throws it into fire. Second and 10, Butcher. His pass falls incomplete. And third and 10 coming up here. 32 seconds remaining in this game.
Looked like he was looking for Dwan Mayu in the far corner there, but just a little bit too wide outside for number 83 to make the grab. Looks like the Cougars going to attempt a field goal here. Just inside of 30 yards for Trevor Niven.
And it's wide to the far side. It will be run out here by Hamilton. Maybe the distance. We'll see. No, wrapped up at around the 50-yard line. The ball comes loose. Time expires anyway, so it's all moot at this point, but a big win for Hamilton, 52-14. They win the Varsity Hurricanes of Hamilton over your Chatham-Kent Cougars in a big way. A game that was not close really right from the very start, up to a 21-0 lead, 28-7. And from there, it just kept getting worse for the Cougars and really kind of ugly at the end there. Just undisciplined for both teams, and looked like almost the officiating crew let it get out of hand almost.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they didn't have a running clock for at least the final quarter of this football game, because not only was it getting a little bit out of hand on the football field, but some bickering up in the stands as well between some of the fans for both squads, so you never like to see that. But unfortunately a loss here for the Cougars. You know, I mean, a little bit lopsided, but Hamilton, that squad, they show you that they're a very good team, and the fact that they had a very young starting quarterback didn't faze them at all, who's typically apparently their backup from what we hear. Really a credit to this Hamilton squad. Very impressive coming in here, very balanced running and passing attack. And the Cougars just had a tough time getting any kind of a rhythm on offense. And defense, you know, it was 21-7 at one point in that first half, and then Hamilton scored just before the half to make it 28-7, and that was kind of a tough spot to be in for the Cougars. And then from there, it didn't get any better.
Kind of blew up from there. So the Cougars lose this one here 52-14 to the Hamilton Hurricanes. And you can keep up to date on all the levels of the Cougars football organization at chatham-kentcougars.com. On behalf of Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera, everybody involved with Cougars on TV Coach Co. Glad to promote them throughout the 2014 season. My name is Mike Renier. Thanks for watching Chatham-Kent Cougars football with TV Coach Co.